I've been wanting to get a cordless grinder for quite a few years now. I've owned a Bosch corded grinder, 240 volts, about 6 years now, and it's done a brilliant job. But I've always had that necessity to have something a little bit more portable, something I could just nip out, do something, and then basically get it done. So whereas the corded grinders, as you guys know, you've got to get extension cables and all that kind of stuff, and it becomes obviously a little bit of an issue. So these cordless grinders and cordless tools are leading the way in terms of obviously safety and innovation, which is brilliant to see. And I was recently provided the opportunity by Bosch Professional to test out and review the new cordless grinder, which boasts a 1500 watt brushless motor, and it's wow. It is double the wattage of my corded grinder, which is only 700 watts, but it's very, very impressive. And straight off the bat, the innovation and technology that's gone into this tool is again very, very impressive. So without further ado, let's get into the meat of this, and let's dissect this grinder to give you guys a better view of what to expect from the new bi-turbo brushless X Lock grinder. So let's make this as quick and simple as possible. So I thought we'd start with the handle itself of the grinder. The only thing I can compare it to is the physical grinder that I have at the moment. I've had this for about 6 years. You can see very, very simple design, plastic. What more can you want from a handle? However, on this particular handle, you can see the difference is obviously it's more ergonomic. It's much softer to the touch. And you can see this red ring around here. It's much softer rubber, and you can see that's more of a dampening effect for the vibrations that could transfer from the actual tool itself into the handle, which makes it nice and comfortable and user-friendly for the user, which is a really, really great feature. And obviously you can see the innovation moving down from the handle, and you can see how that is relating to the rest of the tool, which is very, very impressive. So the physical tool itself, the weight of it, it's a weighty tool with the grinder compared to the corded grinder that I have here. A little bit smaller as well, but what you've got to bear in mind is you haven't got a battery hanging off the back end of your corded grinder for obvious reasons. So you've got an 8 amp hour battery here, which powers the 1500 watt brushless motor, and then now you've got these cool little air intakes which are filtered, which is again a nice little feature. Basically on both sides you've got the air intake, intakes the air, cools down the motor and exhausts it out the front. So those little filters there stops any swarf and dust and stuff coming and basically sucking into the motor and obviously wearing out the motor prematurely. Physical ergonomics of the tool, again, just for a tool, it's quite nice. You've got a nice rubber handle all the way around here. Gets nice and grippy feel, whereas the corded grinder is just basically plastic. So there's not huge amounts of anything wrong with that, but with the actual rubber grip, again, it softens up the vibration and it makes things a little bit more user-friendly for the user itself, and just have a nice confirmed grip with the grinder. So it's Bluetooth compatible. So now, for those of you who don't know, Bosch have got this really innovative app called the Bosch Toolbox. So you go on the App Store, you can download the Bosch Toolbox, follow the on-screen prompts all the way to connect to your tool. Very simple to use for a first-time user like myself. And what is really, really impressive is that not only does it stops the kickback on the drills and the grinder itself, but if you actually dial into the settings on the grinder itself, once you're connected, you can actually customize the speed at what your grinder will operate at different settings. So straight out of the box, you've got a factory setting of 1, 2, and 3. Which are just the factory settings there. That amber illumination there means that it's not connected, or actually that is my battery, that is telling me that my battery is starting to go low. And then once that illuminates blue, you'll see the different colors in the video once you're connected. But again, the user interface is very easy to understand. You've got your battery indicator, you've got a overheat sensor, you've got your user interface if there's any issues with the actual grinder, and then your kickback control or kickback protection. Again, and you've got obviously 3, 2 and 1, and you can change that all the way up to 6 different settings, again, which is pretty damn awesome. Now with the X Lock, which is on everybody's minds, what does that mean to current abrasive wheels, cutting discs, all that kind of stuff? Are we going to be funneling ourselves down to the only X Lock which is provided by Bosch? And I suspect that will be the case. But what we've got to understand is the amount of innovation has gone into the X Lock system itself, whereas your Bosch drills or your conventional, grinders have the actual locking nut. And what I tend to do, which is obviously not best practice, is once you hold your locking button down, you can actually turn that with your hand and loosen off the nut, and it's quite easy to do. It's obviously not recommended to do that, but what you've got to do is obviously loosen that. You've got to loosen the nut off, change your disc, and then obviously tighten back down your nut, and then use your locking tool to lock that in place. Now I found with the locking tool, I either misplace that, put that around, or if you do connect it to the back end here, it tends to hang and it just gets in the way. Whereas the X Lock system, very simple. As you can imagine, you've just got your X Lock, you've got your X Lock cutting disc or your abrasive wheel, whatever you're going to use, and all you're doing is putting it on there and basically pressing down until it clips into, and that is it. 1, 2, 3, and it's done. And the same thing when actually releasing the actual disc itself, which again, just pull back and the disc basically comes straight off. Excuse the noise. The only thing I will say is the sanding pads that you get. You've got this sort of like a backing plate, so you can get different hardnesses, and it's sort of shaped at the ends, which it gives you a nice effect, and you can get into nice little nooks and crannies, and you can get obviously different hardnesses. This is the hard plate. You can get a soft plate and you can get a medium, and again I suspect that is for just get around those contours of, you know, different metal works or wood, whatever you're going to be finding yourself grinding. So the only thing with this though is a little bit finicky with this. So you've got your actual X Lock, which will come in the pack with that. So you've got your sanding pad, which obviously goes in the top of that. If you line up the 2 large holes like that, and you've got to get your X Lock, and then the actual clips itself, that needs to basically line up in there. So what you'll find, oops, that's me doing it the wrong way around. So that basically clips in there like that. Make sure it's nice and flush with that. Now the only thing, this is like a two-handed operation here, where you'll have to get that on there, and once that's seated, you just press down on the center, and then once that clips into place. So that's not too bad. However, when you loosen this or release this, what you'll find is everything just obviously falls off. So make sure that when you do release that, you're either in a toolbox or you're somewhere where everything can fall and you can see where everything goes. So when you obviously clip it off, it obviously falls apart into 3 different pieces. So just be aware of that. Not a huge issue, but it's just something that you should be aware of. Overall, I think the X Lock system, it has really grown on me. I was a bit worried about it due to how expensive the wheels are going to be and all those different questions that the tradesmen are going to be asking all the time. So it really has grown on me. The only thing that will be a question on people's minds is how long will these components last, and you know, will they stand the test of times? And I can openly say that Bosch, obviously with their innovation in technology and how they are throughout the industry, involved with so many different industries, that they are very hot on obviously their components and how things last and how long they last and how they work. So if anything does go wrong, they're very interested in how it's gone wrong for R&D purposes, so they can make it better. And again, if anything does go wrong, you just contact them, and they are very helpful in that sense, by either replacing the units or, you know, giving you sort of intuitive help to get the actual product repaired, so you can obviously get back to your job. So overall, very nice product. Very, very simple to use. And the actual guard itself, again, simple. You've got that little latch there, which you just engage. Once you've engaged the latch, you can move your guard to your relevant position that you need to, and then it'll clip into place with loads of different angles. And you can actually remove this guard if you so wish. It's not recommended to do so, obviously, for obvious reason. So again, very, very simple to use, and you can get that into various different locations. And one really cool thing I didn't actually realize that you could do on these grinders, which I found in the user manual, is that you can actually swap the head around. I'm not sure why someone would do that. Maybe it's either a left-handed or right-handed person, I don't know. But you can actually swap that head around, so the head is actually facing in a different location. So that will be obviously on the bottom face. Again, it's really, really user-friendly in that sense. It's customizable, and I think a lot of people like that, to make things their own and be comfortable with a tool in their own specific way. So overall, pretty impressed. And again, time will tell and how long these X Lock components will last. But you know, looking at it, the componentry looks very, very robust, and it looks like it's been made very, very well. So I have great confidence that this will be last a pretty long time. So yeah, hopefully that's asked your questions. Hopefully that's helped you guys in any way, that finding out more information about the actual grinder itself. If you have any more questions or suggestions, anything like that, pop me down in the comments down below. I will be using this tool quite a lot now going through into the future, and really putting it through its paces. So I'll be sure to put an update on how the tool's performing, or any issues that I might find throughout my social media pages, mainly Facebook and my YouTube. I'll maybe put a couple of Instagram stories on there just so you guys can see what's going on. But overall, very, very impressed. This is just my unboxing and initial impressions of the actual tool itself. We have yet to use it, which we will, and again I will provide a follow-up video of that and how it's performing as a standalone tool. But I hope you guys liked the video. If you have, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps us grow, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. The content is free, and we do a variety of different projects here, from engraving, building trucks, loads of different stuff, and anything I find useful that I like to share with you guys, I openly do so throughout my social media platform. So without further ado, we will see you in the next one.